Good morning, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you watch it from, please. Today, this content will be for the good people of Ikale and Ondo State at large before extending it to the general Yorubas. You see, sometimes when we talk about the government, that the government is the cause of the major problem in Nigeria, do we really think this is the truth? Do we really think this is the truth about this matter? Sometimes, to me, I begin to imagine and think, because the way I think sometimes is virtually different from everybody's own. So now, I want us to look at some aspect of our lives. Why I said, do we really think the government is really responsible for some of the hardship we are going through today? Why I said this content is basically for the good people of Ikale is because I want to use Ikale people as the case study of this scenario. Ikale people are well known for a large landmark where they have larger portion of land for farming. But today the question is, how many Ikale are into this agriculture? How many Ikales are into commercial farming? You see, sometimes I begin to laugh when some people say I'm a farmer. They couldn't even produce what will be sufficient for them and their immediate family to consume. Is this what is called the farmer? Sometimes when you say a farmer, some of them within a year couldn't even produce 32 bags of yam, 100 bags of yam, or you say you are a farmer. That aside, why I'm making this video is to let Ikales know that there will still be a serious hunger in Ikale land if proper care is not taken. If proper care is not taken. Why I'm saying this is because I'm from Ikale and I'm used to the system and I know what is going on there. There will still be, apart from the national problem, you understand, when that is resolved, after some years to come, there will still be a larger hunger for the Ikales. The reasons are majority of the portion of land owned by Ikales are now preoccupied by external people. Are now being preoccupied by external people. Now majority of the land of the Ikale are being sold to external people for farming. And these external people are using this land to cultivate majorly palm trees. And if you are very close to this kind of farming, this palm tree plantation, you will know that after a while, any land that is used to cultivate palm tree will not be used for any other crop after some period. So now the question is, if all this land are being used for palm tree plantation, where would the Ikales cultivate for their cassava, their yam, their maize, and every other crop? Where will they what? Where will they cultivate for all these crops? And this is their basic consumption. This is their basic consumption. So that is why I said there will still be a serious hunger in Ikale land, because majority of their land has been used to cultivate palm tree plantation. Now, if all this land are being used to produce palm trees, what do they use for cassava, yam, maize, potato, pepper, and every other thing? Our people in Ikale are beginning to be too lazy. Our people in Ikale are beginning to be too lazy. From history, we were made to know that majorly Ikale people are fond of producing what they eat and what they consume. Only few things they do buy from market. I mean, in terms of food consumption. I knew from history when I was told my grandfather do have basket of pepper they take to market. Today, how many Ikales do produce this? Plantain. I knew my grandfather's plantation where they harvest plantain to the market. Today, how many Ikales are into this in the large scale? Another thing I want us to look into is these people selling all this their land. At how much are you selling it? And if we are reasonable enough, if somebody comes to you to buy a portion of land and is using it for this palm tree plantation, can't you think that what does this person see and why is it going into this kind of planting? Why don't you as well adopt the system and go into that kind of planting? You see, after a while, when your farm will begin to develop, you will regret all these actions because you are no longer the landowner. You already sold out to people. And all these things, it was not only Esau who sold out his birthright. Ikales are beginning to what? To sell out their own birthright. Because after a while, your children will not have access to those lands. You yourself, the laws and the documentation being compiled by these people and their lawyer, they already tied you people that you can't even go into that farm to cut common chewing stick. Let alone that your wife is purging or whatever, you want to enter into that farm to cut leaf, to make herbal something for your wife. So now, you're not beginning to sell your birthright to people, to other people. Because this is a land you inherited from maybe your father, your forefathers, and now there are laws, there are documents to prove that you cannot longer enter into this land. Is that not your birthright? So now you can understand why I said it is not only Esau who sold out his birthright. Ikales now are beginning to sell out their what? Their birthright to other people, other tribes. Your children can no longer have access to this land. And when better things are coming to that land, you can never be a signatory because you already sold them out. So, Ikales, what is the problem with us planting pepper? Our lands, our soil is good for planting pepper, planting plantain, potatoes, and so many other cash crop and food crops. But because of laziness, many of us don't longer what? Don't longer go into all this. And now we assume the government is the problem. Sometimes when I look at some of my friends, they are landowners, but they don't go to farm. You see, majority of them are into Okada. I don't say going into Okada work is not good, but at the same time, it's an added advantage because transportation to the farm is easier for you because you even have this Okada. But how many people today are going to farm? let's use something as an example. Somebody from Ikale or Yoruba, if he managed to graduate as an NC or OND, he assumed he's a graduate. Please, my brothers and sisters, where do this NC or OND carry you to? Even PhD holders, many of them don't get work anymore in Nigeria. Like sometimes ago, we had it when Dangote employed PhD holders as driver in his company. PhD holders. Many of the Okada riders in Okitikpukpa and other places are masters holders. So my people, why don't we try and fall back to this, our agriculture, to save us from this looming hunger that is coming? Now I was told that a basin of cassava is 10,000 naira. So if you have a farm where you produce cassava, where you can use it for cassava flour or gari flour, you know how much you are likely to make in this period, because you don't even buy the land. It's not that you are buying the cassava plantation, you crop this thing, you planted this cassava on your farm. So if a basin of cassava is sold at 10,000 plus, it shows a bag of cassava that was sold at 6,500, 8,000 before is now over 40,000. So if you have 4 of that bag and that you can produce within a month, that shows you are able to make how much? 40 times 4, which is 160,000. How many civil servants? How many civil servants are making 160,000 within a month? So sometimes when I look at my people and they cry of hardship and hunger, I laugh sometimes because we practically don't want to do anything. If a child managed to have ND or NC, you see the parent protecting that child that, oh, my son no longer want, I don't want him to go to farm. No. So now the question is, where do you want to get what you want to eat from? Do you want to start importing cassava? Do you want to start importing gari? If you are importing other things, do you want to start importing gari, cassava, plantain, and every other thing? So my good people of Ikale, I want us to look inwardly at this particular thing I'm talking about and let us make amendments to this. What I'm saying in essence is, let us fall back to our agriculture, as this will save us from looming hunger, especially the good people of Ikale. I don't say you shouldn't plant palm tree on your farm, but if you are going to plant palm tree on your farm, be it yourself, make it yourself. But if you sell all this land to visitors, you no longer have right to that land, and there's a serious hunger coming. It is not this one we are still crying. No, this one is a national problem. But after this problem, a problem is still coming for the good people of Ikale, because hunger is looming. I tell you this, write it down. Sometimes when you hear we want to buy this land, maybe sometimes I knew some people who sold a portion of land, 423 acres, to just one person. You know, 423 acres to just one person? No. Now majority of them, they are feeling hunger. I know them. I knew them very well. Some of them don't even have a phone. Some of them, when you see their phone, is bounded by rubber bands. Because when you hear this money, okay, we want to buy this land for 10 million. And you all assume 10 million is big money. By the time 20 people sell a portion of land for 10, 15 million, how much do you think each person is gonna get on this money? Some of them are less than 1 million naira. Some of them 800,000. You know, and after this, there are a lot of litigations, problems. You know, some of them they spent half of this money in police net, police custodies. Now they are what? They are suffering. They are what? They are suffering. I knew that. They use their rubber band to bound their phones. They don't have phone. They don't have good phone. Some of them cannot afford to eat anymore. So, my people, this is not the best idea for us. For people in Ikale who don't really understand English, I will say this again in Ikale. For my good people to what? To understand what I'm talking about. Ikale me gbogbo mo kiyan o. Umetra àti fọ̀ ní fídíò yìí ni pé meke mu try àti fọ̀ nga wa Ikale pé uye me wa, ìyẹn me wa, ebe me wa nílẹ̀ Ikale. Dé bá change iṣẹ́ tí hùwà yìí. Dédé òdàjì ilẹ̀ wa àti tàwọn àlejò tán àti tàwọn ẹrù àjòjì. Dédé ilẹ̀ yìí kẹ̀yìn àbáwẹ́ mú soko tẹ́lẹ̀. Kó sẹ́dẹ̀ lè ṣe oko yìí àbáwẹ́ ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Dédé oko yìí ẹ ṣe ní ìdáyí. Ọ̀nà yóò lè ṣe oko yóò tó ohun àtẹ̀bí ẹ jẹ. Débi pé tí ẹ rí tà nínẹ̀. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ayé àtijọ́ yẹn ẹ di iṣu ọgbà. Ẹ jẹ́ náà ti ọdún kan tó gbọ́ atóyin iṣu ọdún mú ẹ̀. Bọ̀ báyìí lọ́nà yóò ní orú oko yẹn. Mo gbọ́ ní ìtàn àgbẹ̀ fọ́hàn mi pé ìbàbà mi ní oko ata. Yóò ṣe pé ṣe mú apẹ̀rẹ̀ ká ata lọ ọjà. Bí mẹ́kan ti gbọ́njú gbàyìn but mo gbọ́ ní ìtàn pé ìbàbà mi ó ní oko yẹ ti ká ata lọ yí ọjà. Kó ṣe àwa Ikale ilẹ̀ yẹn báyìí kẹ̀ kó ṣe ilẹ̀ yẹn ṣe ètò hàn máa ní àti bò ata ní. Ilẹ̀ wa ó hàn àwọn ata, àwọn bàtíyàn, àwọn su, àwọn púpúrú. Hun ilẹ̀ wa hàn. But kó ṣe hàn ilẹ̀ yẹn báyìí. Bí ó bá ṣe pé òun ya mú kùn àwọn mẹ́ka ilẹ̀ yẹn yìí nù ká fẹ́ kára bí ẹja. Ayé àtijọ́ gan an bá wẹ́ pa ẹja. Mo ti mọ̀ gbàgbọ́ pé àwọn bàbá mi ẹ̀dẹ̀ ṣe ọdẹ. So báyìí kó ṣe àwa Ikale dáyìn dédé kíní yìí nà dẹ̀ ṣe máa. Ìyó tẹ̀ wá burú jù ní dédé ọ̀fọ̀ mi fọ́ ni pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí anẹ́ ní Ikale á ti táwọn ẹrù àjòjì. Àwọn ẹrù àjòjì kẹ̀ ọ̀pẹ̀ ń mú kẹ́nẹ̀ yìí bò ní. Umetra àti fọ̀ ni pé náà yín ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún. Ti ẹ̀ sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀. Bọ̀pẹ́ bá ti kú oní ìgbágò yẹ ti kọ́ bó ti lọ òkè díẹ̀. Gbogbo ọwọ́ tí ẹ ti nàwọ́ òkè kọ́ báyìí àmọ́ pé ètò ń ra lè bò abẹ́ ọ̀pẹ̀ mọ́. Usu èlè hàn ní abẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́. Púpúrú èlè hàn lábẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́. Lámbè èlè hàn ní abẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́. So kílẹ̀ ya fẹ́ ka mú soko púpúrú. Kí ya fẹ́ ka mú soko ọ̀pẹ̀. Mọ́jọ́kọ̀ ọ̀pẹ̀. Kí ya fẹ́ ka mú soko púpúrú. Kí ya fẹ́ ka mú soko oṣù. Kí ya fẹ́ ka mú soko bàtíyàn. A mọ̀ pé sí ìrìn ọ̀pẹ̀ ṣé fàdédé nutrient yóò ga nílẹ̀ mára ni. So ihun wo lè bò abẹ́ tó lè hàn. Ìdí mẹ́tẹ́ ń fọ̀ kẹ́nẹ́ ni pé ìyàtà jẹ wá gan ní Ikale o. Yàtọ̀ ètì yé ṣẹlẹ̀ ní dédé Nàìjíríà yìí. Ló bá tó stage kan, ìyàtì Ikale ti wà náà yọ̀tọ̀ because dédé ilẹ̀ wa a ti gbé wọn àlejò tán. Àti ṣe pé a gbé wọn yẹn o, a tà èdè ṣe ìsọnù kan. Òun a gbọ́ ní ìtàn pé ó ta ọjọ́ ìbí ẹ̀. Ìyí àwa Ikale ṣe yìí. Ìyí àwa Ikale ṣe yìí. Yàtọ̀ yìí òun ìsọ ṣe ní ayé àtijọ́ ní Bible pé ó ta ọjọ́ ìbí ẹ̀. Birthright. ìyẹn mú tó mú ṣe àṣàrò mú ta wo get bẹ́yẹn because ilẹ̀ yá bá ti tàn àlejò yẹn dẹ̀ ti ṣèwé ẹ̀ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìwé ilẹ̀ yìí mọ́rí yìí àlejò ṣe àti ẹ̀ tó kọ́ débi pé ọmọ lílẹ̀ lè wọ bẹ̀gẹ́ pákó lásán dàmàbù pín iná dùn àyàwó fẹ́ háré já ewé kítọ́lá wo fẹ́ já sẹ́kẹ̀tì wo fẹ́ gbó àyàdí háré mọ́ ètò hìyàn yẹn mọ́. mo ní àyíta ilẹ̀ ń àlejò náà náà ta 423 acres so orú àyí báyìí 423 acres yìí pẹ̀lú à ń ta question ya kọ́ bí ra wa rò rẹ̀ yẹn pátápátá ń dà 20 million ubo yìí ọ̀nẹ́ 2025 ti sign ní document pé a fẹ́ ta lẹ̀ yìí ọ̀nẹ́ ní 20 million àjọ kèlú yóò fẹ́ kàn ọ̀nà kọ̀ọ̀kan ní owó yìí ọlọ́nà mọ̀ iye ìgbà 2 million ìmọ̀ ìgbà tó 1 million so báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ owó yìí gan gbọ́n kó wọn lọ́gbà ọlọ́pàá náà ṣe déédéé àti tó náà dájọ́ owó yìí ilẹ̀ báyìí mà ti lọ ìmọ̀ tó náà fà ní ilẹ̀ yẹn ọmọ yẹn ìmọ̀ tó náà fà ní ọmọ ọmọ yẹn ìmọ̀ tó náà fà ní ilẹ̀ yìí so báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn báyìí sẹ́yìn tó mọ́gọ́ gba ilẹ̀ ní àkàn yìí mọ́ mà sẹ́yìn tó mọ́gọ́ gba ilẹ̀ ní ọwọ́ àyè àtàlẹ̀ ń ni àwọn àdàbí ẹrú ní ilẹ̀ báyà ó mẹ́fọ̀ yé ṣe kálẹ̀ nu kan o ẹ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ó mẹ́tẹ́ fọ̀ yìí báyìí bá tiẹ̀ fọ̀ iye Nàìjíríà pínlẹ̀ ní báyìí ìyẹ́ mẹ́ ti wá àwọn àwa Yorùbá náà papọ̀ because ẹ lè ṣeun yá jẹ mọ́ ẹ lè ṣe kí ni ẹ lè ṣeun yá jẹ mọ́ a máa ta ilẹ̀ yẹn mọ́ a máa ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la a máa yẹn mùmẹ́tíra àti fọ̀ gangan ní kẹ́nẹ̀ yẹrẹ yìí àmúka ilẹ̀ yẹn ká borúgbìn nítorí pé ọjọ́ ọ̀la a máa ta bá níbẹ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ fọ̀ mèremère wá ilẹ̀ wa yẹn báyìí àlejò ó ní ìbẹ̀bà yá sàn ní pé àwa ṣe ọ̀nà nílẹ̀ ni èyí tó ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ní Ìkálẹ̀ ara wọn àti ẹ̀rí pé méjà fikanfikan lújọ́ kúnlẹ̀ rẹ̀ yẹn pé ilẹ̀ yẹn yìí ẹ̀ tàyàn yìí mo lè gbà padà àtiraka àti ká gbà padà èyí ṣe pé ṣe ṣèbínú wọn bí ó ṣe pé ẹrù ọ̀la ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àyọ̀ talẹ̀ ibà ìyẹ́ jẹ yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ti ẹ̀ ní fóònù yá lè mú pè ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó bá rí fóònù ọwọ́ wọn rọ́bà bá dàmú dé torí pé fóònù jábọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ bátìrì ẹ̀ jábọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ kéèsì ń jábọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ so ilẹ̀ yá ti tànà tọdún mẹ́ta ẹ̀yìn bá sí àti rógó ẹ̀ náà nìdá ní yìí dédé ń lé kókókókókókókó yìí ìdáhùn ni pé ó ti rógó ẹ̀ náà mà báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sẹ́ ń tọrọ tùgbà lè jẹ́ ní torí pé a ti ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la yẹn tẹ̀sán lánàá kan o a ti ta ẹni yẹn di ìdá ọ̀la because ìyálà ẹ̀ ti ẹ̀ jẹ yẹn tùgbà tí a fọ àmọ́ yẹn òye jẹ àyàn fúnra yẹn báyìí yóò ta lẹ̀ yẹn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ lè jẹun gbà mẹ́ta pé ní Ìkálẹ̀ èèmẹ̀ síjọba ó fà á èèmẹ̀ síjọba mímẹ́ fọ́ tèmi èèmẹ̀ síjọba ọwọ́ ara wa màmú fà á ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ lè jẹun gbà mẹ́ta má bí wo bá ní kúkúrú wo ní gàrí wo ní ko bàtíyàn wo ní ko ata wo ní ko lámbó jọ kí ìyàn yóò fẹ́ pa ẹ́ bó bá rí kúkúrú díẹ̀ tà mo fọ̀ ní náà òyìnbó hàn ni pé bí ó bá ṣe ní ìyẹn ta bẹ́ẹ̀sì kúkúrú kan báyìí ẹ̀ ta 10,000 ó ṣò pé bó bá ní báàgì kúkúrú kan wo mà ti ní 40,000 rẹ̀ yẹn bí ó bá wá lè ṣe báàgì mẹ́rin nọ́ọ̀sùn kan wo ti ní 160,000 kì lọ́nà èso sẹ́ọ̀sùn yé gbà owó yìí kèlú ọ̀nẹ́ ìyẹ́sùn sẹ́ọ̀sùn yé gbà owó yìí náà sùn 160,000 ìyá àti fọ̀dédé ń lé kókókókókókókókó bí o bá nílẹ̀ bí o mú soko púpúrú náà rí oko púpúrú wo soko ata òye mà lè jẹ́ tèmẹ́mẹ́ kẹ́tò yìí so ní àkójọpọ̀ dédé mo fọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí àwa Ìkálẹ̀ mo fẹ́ jẹ́ àmúlò dá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa padà oko Tọ́ba ní àmà yóò ra náà jò. Àmà wa ìyá àmà yóò nóró yóò lè móró sédó sàn àmà wa. Àpè yẹn. Ilẹ̀ yìí ọmọ wa bá ní tó bá sùn ó ti mú soko tó bẹ́ fọ́nú jọ gbájú pé ń mèremère wa ẹbí yẹn ọmọ àti ya ni ìkálẹ̀ ọmọ àti ya ni ṣùgbọ́n bó bá ti ta ń ṣe nà wo ta ń Chinedu wo ta ń Chukwendu èmi tó sọ bí onímọ̀ èmi tó sì kálẹ̀ onímọ̀ bí mèremère bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ wa wé mà tó lè gbá padà báyìí mo ti rí yìí ilẹ̀ kálẹ̀ yìí ìbò dé ti ní ilẹ̀ ju ọmọ lílẹ̀ ni. Wo get me for báyìí mo rí yìí lébi ìkálẹ̀ dẹsẹ̀ ṣe lébìà ń àyà talẹ̀ ń ni dédé ń ayẹyẹ náà yàn bá wa. Èèyà pé yàn bá wa ṣe lébìà èèyà pé yàn bá wa ṣe lébìà ń ìbò ní ilẹ̀ yìí àyàn fúnra yàn ní. So yẹ pa wá lọ́ba ó ṣe ọ̀lẹ ni ẹ fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa ìkálẹ̀ díẹ̀ ní kí ti jọba. Díẹ̀ ní kí ti jọba. So ìkálẹ̀ mẹ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni àjọ tábà náà máa jẹ yóò nóró àti soko àpé ká wá ká móró wá ká ṣe òyì à ń bá rí lórí à ń lè kájọ pin láì ṣùgbọ́n hàn jùgbà bá tà dédé lẹ́yìn àlejò mẹ́tírà àti fọ́ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn òyẹ mẹ́wàá ní ìkálẹ̀ ebé mẹ́wàá ṣùgbọ́n tásìkò yẹn pé ibi ìyá àlùwà pa yìí ajé àṣàtúnṣe o mo máa kíyan ìkálẹ̀ mẹ́sẹ̀sán mo máa kíyan o ìkálẹ̀ àìríjẹ mo kíyan o ìrèlè àjàgbà òkìtìpupa ayé ní titun igbó tako ìgòdàn òkúmọ́ mo máa kí dédé yan náà papọ̀ o mo kíyan o ire o.